All right, here we are, 2020. No, not really. We're 2019, halfway through. And what I want to show you is my goals, my vision, how I'm going to look at my analytics to make 2020 the year of the triple digit. So right now, in the past year, I've been making double digit money, 30, 40 bucks a month on YouTube. What I want to do is I want to show you how I plan on making $100, $200 a month instead. I'm not a Joe Rogan, I'm not a PewDiePie. That's why maybe you can take a look at my channel and say, hey, he's doing something right. He's got enough money to buy a tank of gas, doesn't he? Well, let's do enough money to pay that damn car payment next. So stick around, I'll show you some analytics, and it's gonna be a difficult subject, but stick around, I will show you how I plan on doing it. Growth on YouTube, analytics. We want views, we want impressions, we want your video to be shown to the world. So how do we do that? Well, YouTube has algorithms and they show your video. So if your thumbnail gets actually shown, 50% of it is shown in the screen of some sort, that is called an impression. You want as many impressions as you can get. Why? Because you want people to actually click them. If they click the impression, that's a view. They viewed your video. But how long did they view it for? What's the view duration? That would be your watch time. Watch time's important, views are important, impressions are important. Watch time is pretty important, but what about session time? Have you heard of session time? How often, if they click your video, do they click your next video and the next video? Are they in your YouTube space for a long period of time? All right, well, that's the abridged version. You can stop here if you'd like. Where does it all begin? Well, it all begins with what we call an impression. What is an impression? Well, when you go to YouTube, even your homepage, you have a list of all of these recommended videos. You see all their thumbnails? Well, if 50% of that thumbnail is actually shown to you, so right now as I scroll, I get halfway down, all of these thumbnails down here, they have just gotten what you call an impression, or at least what YouTube calls it. That's an impression, but that doesn't mean anything. It just means that the photons have hit my eye. Now, when you actually click on it, that is what we call a view. So look, for example, this one here called In-Camera Transitions, a Masterclass. It shows 822,000 views, but it does not tell you the impression count. You don't know the impression count, but you got to figure if it was viewed over 800,000 times, it was probably put in somebody's eyes probably at least 5 or 6 times that amount. So you're talking millions of times of impressions. So how do we find out your impressions? Go to your YouTube Studio Beta and we'll find it there. And make sure you're in the beta version and not the classic version because the impression count won't be there. And we'll go down to your analytics. And now you have some analytics here, and I'll show you, I'll walk you through these. All right, now that you're at the overview of your analytics, make sure you clicked on overview. You can see your views, your watch time, subscribers, and your earned revenue. See, I told you I was making anywhere between $30 and $40 a month approximately. That's just on YouTube. And you can see that I have almost 11,000 views and 20,000 minutes of watch time. Now the watch time is important because that's what actually gets you monetized. You need 4,000 hours of watch time and you need 1,000 subscribers. So you need this combination within a year period as well. So I believe you can have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours in a smaller period, and that's fine as well. I'm just saying you can't say, hey, in a year and a half I had 4,000 hours. You need 4,000 hours at least in a period less than a year. Now, what's important too is the upward arrow versus the downward arrow. Obviously, up is better in most cases and down is bad. Don't get too hung up on subscriber counts. Some channels are more meant for very specific lookups and people are not going to subscribe when you solve one of their problems. For example, how to fix AirPods, and I'll just type in my name so that I know that it'll pick up my video, what I'm showing you. And so right here is my video, and right now that's an impression, and it's not a view yet. Permanently fix the AirPods. Someone's going to use this, solve their problem, and then never come back to my channel again. I'm not solving AirPod problems all day long. I solve computer problems, technology problems that get in the way of creating content and videos like this. So if they don't subscribe, don't worry about it, but make sure that you're very searchable. Look at my my title, permanently fix the AirPods, plus Chrome, plus YouTube, pause, unpause. All of those things are issues that I'm thinking somebody's going to say, hey, I have this pause problem with my AirPods. So you want to put those in your titles. That's all I'm showing you there. Now let's go back to the analytics page. You can change the duration as well, cycle, 7 days. Typically it defaults to 28 days. I go to 90 a lot. Sadly, my 90-day cycle, mine is mostly flatlined. You obviously want to be trending up. But look carefully though, it's still up 33% for views over a 90-day period. And you can take a look at 7-day periods and see, hey, I've just done something like a week ago. Let's see if I've made any impact. It's not looking good. I've got down arrows everywhere. And I made $7 in 7 days, so $1 a day. Like I said, a tank of gas, not bad. Let's scroll down and look at some of your top videos. So this is one thing you really want to pay attention to, especially if you're just trying to figure out what your niche is. And I'm trying to get away from this niche. And that's sad because that's actually what's making most of the money on AdSense. So my Swissgear Travel ScanSmart backpack review has made me the most money since I put that video on. It has somehow done excellent. And another how to remove a back seat, a discussion on exponential smoothing, some programming stuff. So notice that all of the stuff that I don't feel like doing for this channel is what's making me money. Now that's what makes it very difficult to make that decision. Well, what am I trying to do with this channel? I will always post things that I find helpful somewhere, but this channel is going to be all about creating content like this and looking at your analytics, marketing it. I want people to come to this channel to figure out what to do with their own channels. So that being said, if you find reviews are being number one for you, you might want to focus more on doing more reviews. Or if your reviews are not getting number one, maybe try something different. Lots of analytics here. Now let's go to this reach tab, which is right here. And this is what's really important. So remember I told you about impressions and views. Now we have 23,000 impressions. All of my videos have been in the last 7 days. YouTube has shown my thumbnail to 23,000 people. 5.5% of them have actually clicked on my video, and that's your CTR or your click-through rate. And then you have your views and your unique viewers right here. Finally, though, you want engagement. Engagement is your watch time. So in 7 days, 5,000 minutes of watch time have occurred. I almost said hours, I wish. So really, you want to focus on your view duration, your watch time. You want to get those impressions, which is secret algorithms that YouTube uses, but they will show your impressions more if you gain more of an audience. So it's like a circular thing. As long as you continue to impress people, YouTube's gonna show your YouTube more. Now, if people start clicking on it, that means you have a good thumbnail and you have a good title. So that's gonna get you your click-through rate high. A typical click-through rate under your reach, you have your impressions click-through rate, 5.5%. A typical rate that you're striving for is at least 2%, and you're probably going to find somewhere between 2 and 10% is going to be where you fluctuate. And again, you can cycle through 7 days, 28 days. I'm still at 5.5% for 28 days. And if I even go for a whole year, you can see all of these metrics change. So I actually went down over time, over the year. And you can find out, what did I do during this course right here where it's been super high, etc., etc. The key, though, is to really figure out what are you doing to make changes to this. Let's go back to a 28-day standard default here. So just because you find all these metrics means nothing. You've got to figure out how do I increase these metrics. So if you see that if you go back to reach, you go to your click-through rates. This one's really easy metric to try to solve, to crack the code on. Because if you're at 5.5% and you start changing all of your thumbnails to something awesome, well, when those impressions do occur, let's see if they click on them more. So let's make that change today. You change, say, 20 of your thumbnails, and then you come back 15 days later, whatever, and you come back and you see your 7-day or your 30-day click-through rate go up, even if it's just by a little bit. Then you know you're on to something good. And that's the idea. Now finally, let's scroll down just a tad where it says impressions and how they lead to watch time. I don't know a whole lot about this one, except for if you read this right here, it says 18.3% from YouTube recommended your content. So YouTube itself recommended my content almost 20% of the time. That's pretty awesome. So when a video plays, there's a good chance that another video will play of mine. Download the YouTube Studio app for your phone as well, and you can look at a lot of these metrics through your phone. But please don't get hung up on the metrics. Content is king. Content is king. It doesn't matter how good your microphone is. It doesn't matter how good looking you are. It doesn't matter what you're actually, what kind of camera you have. Content matters. If your stuff that you're talking about out of your mouth matters, then people will find you. Finally, I want to give you an example of session length. I don't know where the metric is or if there even is one that is available to us in the public. However, if you look at my other channel, my Cradle to Grave R channel, I have right here a playlist. And what I have is it's 1 through 10 so far. I just started this channel a little over a week ago. I have 10 videos, but if you play one video, because it's in a playlist, it'll automatically play the next video on the list and the next and the next. The goal is you want people to binge watch your stuff, your content. You want them to watch like 3, 4, or 5 videos in a row. Not only that, I'm not going to show you in this video because I have another video that shows it, but end cards and info cards will help go from one video to the next within your YouTube ecosystem. So finally, one more task for you. You've got to watch this video to the very end till there's 0 seconds left. Just kidding, you don't have to, but it's good for my metrics. Also, comment below, let me know your duration length on average, let me know your click-through rates. Let's just kind of compare, maybe trade some notes down below.